basically what happened, I ended up going to a borstal, which were Kurt Leb in the late 70s. And from experiences in there, watching inmates, which are like 14, 15, 16, 17 year old, getting raped by inmates. They were also getting raped by staff. And to see my friends swinging and cutting his wrists, and when his friends are dying, and it makes you really bitter against the staff, knowing that it's the staff who's put him that way and not helping him. You know, my head was in bits, and I ended up on heroin, which was on slightly over 10 years. Luckily enough, I never injected the drugs, but smoking it's just as bad. My family, they would have helped a lot, but I just couldn't go to them because I didn't want to put them through, because I knew my mum would be really upset about it, and she'd end up really poorly, knowing that I was on the drugs and that. So I couldn't really go to her, because it just made her more poorly than what I was going through myself. At that time I'd become homeless. I was living on the streets, things like that. The worst thing about being homeless is people just shut you away. You just become a nobody. People just don't want to know you. If they see you sat on the street, they just think you're scum, and they just kick you in the street. I was sleeping in door corners, you know, shop corners, because I didn't know where to go or what to do. I thought I'd try a different town. And with Manchester, my reputation is, and now it's called Gangchester. There's a lot of guns about, you know, and that was even worse than Bradford. And I experienced something similar again, where we were going to get robbed or whatever. And it was like 2, 3 in the morning. I had no money, and I just had to get away from there. They were chasing me in cars, and I was trying to dodge up and down alleys and that, try to get away from it until I got to onto the motorway. And I was sticking to the side of motorways, and I walked actually from Salford in Manchester all the way to Bradford, and just to get away from it all, really. It was absolutely terrible. I mean, it's a long 30-odd mile walk, and it's not like walking on the road. You're walking on hills. It feels twice the distance. It took well over 12 hours. I'd say more like 18 hours to walk it, and I had to walk over Saddleworth more. And the only way I knew to get is to which way we're going at middle of the night. I did towards the motorway, looked for a motorway sign pointing towards Leeds, so I knew which direction to go in. And I just followed down the side of the motorway on the hills. I've slept in skips, electric box. I've slept in all sorts of places away from trouble, really. I had really bad experiences. One time I was in Bradford, up Ivygate, and I was in a doorway. It was late at night, I'd say about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and 2 lads come up to me with what looked like a semi-automatic pistol.
Give me your fucking money.
You what? You what?
Give me your fucking money.
You're not getting me fucking money, you're not getting none of my fucking stuff, mate.
What fucking will do now, water?
You know. Stole all my camping equipment, which I'd just got again, and my head was in bits after that. I was really, really bad depressed. I was shaking, and it wasn't making me drug habit any better, because it was just making me worse and worse. So I ended up going into rural areas away from the town centres. I was homeless, living in a tent for a lot of nights. I should imagine it was at least 3, 4 months. There's a lot of places where you can go, where you keep yourself out of way of trouble. So you're in the middle of nowhere, you're going to have no trouble, and once your tent's built up, you know you're not going to get no youths coming in trying to rob you or, you know, do you harm to yourself. And you can just basically do what you want, really. It's a hell of a lot better. I heard about St Paul's by, I was talking to this homeless boy, a lad in Bradford, and he says, I told him I was hungry and things like that, and he says you can go to St Paul's, run a day shelter where homeless people can go and get a free meal. They can also get a shower, wash their clothes and things like that, and from there the office staff in the building told me that they done hostels and that. They let me use the phone to ring the main hostel up Within 24 hours I had an interview, and then I had an interview at 12 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock I had my own keys from my own place. I stayed there for about 12 months, and in that time they moved me onto a move-on flat, which I'm now living in now at this present time now. Key workers come regular, at least once a week, make sure I'm okay, and like when I was using drugs before, they helped me get into a drug rehabilitation centre. Are you okay? It's absolutely fantastic now that I've got my own place. I feel a lot more stable. I've no worries about ever becoming homeless again, really. I can now have my kids at the weekend, and my kids stop over at weekend, and it's great now. It's a hell of a lot better. If I'd have had the right information in the first place, I wouldn't have had to go through all that. I probably could have got somewhere within a week, but because I didn't know, and I went to council and they just says, well, you know, we'll put you in a waiting list, and I found this waiting list could be from 12 months to 5 years. Well, that's no good to me. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean to say that you're a nobody, really, because, you know, you could have been a bank manager, you know, before you were homeless, or you could have been, you know, anybody really, and it don't mean to say that you're a nobody.